Let's start with your name and your date of birth, sir.
My name is Juan Carlos Quiroz.
Thank you. All right, so 3 cases we have to talk about. The first one is the new charges that you just picked up, and then you're on probation in a couple of cases. We're going to talk about that because you picked up new charges. Now, the new charges, 1 count of narcotic drug possession, class 4 felony, 1 count of tampering with evidence, class 6 felony. Now, you will have the assistance of a court-appointed lawyer. Your hearings are going to be in the downtown Phoenix Superior Court Complex. Your courtroom is going to be located in the South Court Tower. Those hearings start next week on Thursday, September 12th at 8:30, and Monday, September 16th at 8:30. Your lawyer will be there to assist you, and your bail is set at $50 on the new charges. Now, on probation, because you picked up new charges, those are alleged violations of term number 1. So in addition to the 2 hearings I gave you on Thursday and the following Monday, you have a separate probation hearing Friday, September 13th at 8:30. It's back in downtown Phoenix Superior Court. It's in the Central Court building downstairs. You will have a court-appointed lawyer in that courtroom ready to help you, and your bail was set at $300 in each case, and that's a total of $650 in all 3. Now, you are eligible to use a bail bonding company if you need assistance. Just make sure that if you do bond out and you get released from jail, that you call your probation officer within the first 3 days.
Can that happen today?
I've
never done something like
yes,
that.
if you want to post your bail immediately, you can post your bail immediately. Just make sure you call your probation officer within 3 days and you don't miss your court dates. All of them are on your paperwork. No weapons, alcohol, or drugs.
Okay.
And do you have any questions?
That's it. Thank you, Honor.
Talk to the detention officers about how to go about paying his bail.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. All right, Tiara Johnson, I mean. Tiara, good morning. All right, can you tell me your name and your date of birth?
Tiara Ashanti Johnson. Tiara Ashanti Johnson.
And when were you born, Tiara? So you are here in your 2 probation cases. There were alleged violations of terms 3, 5, and 15. So I do have a probation hearing scheduled for you, and it's going to be next Friday, September 13th, downtown Phoenix Superior Court in the Central Court building, and you will have a court-appointed lawyer, and your bail is set at $250 in each case for a total of $500. Now, you are eligible to use a bail bonding company. Just make sure that if you do bond out of custody, that you call your probation officer within the first 3 days, that you don't possess drugs, alcohol, or weapons while you're out, and you make your court dates. Do you have any questions for me?
So I'm staying tonight.
Unless you post your bail. That's going to be up to you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, Max? All right. Max, good evening to you. Can I have your name and your date of birth?
Max Aaron, Denver, April.
All right, so Max, you're here on some new charges. On those charges that you got arrested on, some of them I did not find probable cause on, and some I did. So let's start with the ones that I did not find probable cause on, and that's 3 counts of narcotic drug possession, class 4 felony, and 1 count of dangerous drug possession, a class 4 felony. So I didn't find probable cause also on 1 count of possession or use of a weapon in a drug offense. The reason why I didn't find probable cause on those charges was because the substances that they're alleging are drugs. At this point in time, there's not been any testing on it, or I don't really know what they found. Now, if they do test it on those substances and it comes back presumptively positive as either dangerous drugs or narcotic drugs, you may see those charges going forward. But for purposes of tonight, I just didn't have sufficient information. When things are just too vaguely described, I just can't find probable cause, and I'm not going to do that. Which is why I didn't find probable cause on the possession of a weapon in a drug offense. What I did find probable cause on, though, was drug paraphernalia possession, because they did significantly describe that offense for me to find probable cause on that. So you're going to have a court-appointed lawyer. Your hearings are going to be in downtown Phoenix, Superior Court, South Court Tower. They're going to start next week on they're going to start in 2 weeks on Monday, September 23rd at 8:30, and Wednesday, September 25th at 8:30. So the 23rd and the 25th in downtown Phoenix. I'm going to release you to the supervision of pretrial services, meaning there is no bail to pay. You will be getting out, but you will have to call and check in with pretrial services. And I've put a telephone number on the very first page of your paperwork about halfway down. You need to call that within the next 2 business days. In other words, they don't work on the weekends, but they do Monday through Friday regular business hours. So you've got basically to the end of Tuesday to make that phone call. If you don't, they're going to let your judge know, and your judge has the authority just to take you right back into custody, and then it kind of ruins this arrangement we have about letting you out, okay? So make those court dates, don't possess weapons or drugs, and do you have any questions?
Was it known that I had my gun rights back at the time of the?
I am not. When I looked at your history, I do believe that that on those 3 cases, the felony charges were designated as misdemeanors. So I'm not finding any prohibited possessor. That is a completely different type of a charge.
Okay.
So there's one thing about not being able to carry. That's a crime, and that doesn't apply to you.
Yeah,
But there is an offense that basically says if you're possessing drugs or you're violating our drug offenses and you have a weapon on you, that's a separate offense. Whether or not you're a prohibited possessor or not, you're not allowed to carry during the commission of a drug offense. And the reason why is because I think history has proven that drugs and weapons together are not a good combination. Okay? So that's the reason why we have that offense. But for right now, I'm not going to find probable cause. Now, if they do come back as presumptively positive for any types of drugs that you that allegedly had in you, you may see that charge coming back again. Okay? So I can't tell at this point in time, and that's not my decision. All right? All right. Thank you, sir.
Back off this way. And then I see with West Council and put the paperwork right next to me.
Dustin, right here behind the podium for me, please. And if you could tell me your name and your date of birth.
Dustin Cody, 7.
Thank you. So you're here on a new charge of criminal trespassing of a residence, Class 6 felony. You will have a court-appointed lawyer to defend you. You have hearings coming up in Superior Court Complex. That's in downtown Phoenix. Your courtroom is going to be in the South Court Tower, and those court dates are going to be on Monday, September 23rd at 8:30, and Wednesday, September 25th at 8:30. So the 23rd and the 25th. Now, there is no bail to pay. I am going to release you into the supervision of pretrial services, meaning you are going to get out, but you're going to have to call pretrial services within the next couple of business days. Now, they don't work on weekends, but they certainly do on Monday or Tuesday coming up. So you're going to need to call that number. If you don't, they're just going to let your judge know, and your judge can just take you right back into custody. Now, I am going to have them do some drug testing and monitoring on you, and they'll explain exactly like how to test, where to test, when to test. They'll give you all of that information. Another reason you really need to check. Now, because you're going to be out of custody, do not return to the scene of the alleged crime. Do not have any contact with any victims or witnesses. Do not possess any weapons, drugs, or alcohol. And make sure you make your court dates. Otherwise, you're going to pick up a failure to appear, okay?
Yeah.
Any questions?
Nope.
Thank you, sir. Grab your paperwork. All right. Ms. Richter? All right. May I have your name? Thank you so much. All right. Rarely somebody's listened enough to come in and tell me that. All right. So you're here on what we call a direct complaint warrant, meaning, if you don't already know, it's the state's going back and charging you with some offenses that allegedly occurred back in February. It's the 2nd of February.
It sucks because I got put on probation just recently, and then they filed the charges, so.
Yeah. Well, talk to your lawyer about that.
Okay.
When I had division downtown Superior Court in the criminal department, there's ways that we can handle those kind of things. Okay, so just talk to your lawyer about it.
Perfect.
The charges are narcotic drug possession, Class 4 felony, dangerous drug possession, Class 4 felony, and drug paraphernalia possession, Class 6 felony. You will have a court-appointed lawyer. Your hearings are in downtown Phoenix, Superior Court, South Court Tower, Monday, September 23rd at 8:30, and Wednesday, September 25th at 8:30.
Okay.
You're getting released to the supervision of pretrial services. There is no bail to pay. Just make sure you call in and check in with pretrial services. The telephone number is on the first page of your paperwork. Make your court dates. No drugs without a prescription. And do you have any questions?
No.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Come on in. Right there.
Have you used those before? Oh, you just need to turn it on to channel number 1.
It should just be ready to go.
If it's on channel 1. Is it? Okay, good. And tell him,
It works.
Yeah.
It's a very different one I've seen.
John, can you hear me?
Can you hear?
Make sure that the
Is it
volume,
something?
make sure the
No,
volume's
I can't hear.
turned up.
I think you gotta turn it on.
Oh, we got turned off.
Can you try again?
Okay, John, can you hear me?
Yes, I can now, thank you.
I'm so glad we have those for you.
I know.
I am too.
All right, so John, tell me your name and your date of birth.
It's John Lee Keel.
So, John, you did pick up a new charge of dangerous drug possession, class 4 felony, and on that charge you will be defended by a court-appointed lawyer. I have hearings coming up for you in downtown Phoenix, in the Superior Court Complex, in the South Court Tower, and those hearings are going to start on Monday, September 23rd, 8:30 a.m., and Wednesday, September 25th at 8:30 a.m. I'm going to release you, John, on your own recognizance. That means you're promised to voluntarily show up at your court hearings, don't possess drugs, don't drive without a license, and make those hearings on the 23rd and the 25th, okay?
Never missed one yet.
Fantastic. Well, that went into my decision to release you. All right. Thank you, sir.
It's going to be necessary for me to contact another lawyer. It seems to be, this court appears to be changing people's lives. At 75, what can you change? You can put me in jail, but you're not going to change me.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying that they're going to put you in jail or not, okay? So, John, what you may need is you just may need some services, okay? So, so talk to your lawyer about that. Maybe you can get on probation and just get some services for the drug issue, okay?
All right.
All right, thank you so much, sir.
Maybe I'll get my hearing aid out of it.
All right, John. John.
All right. Rodolfo?
2 weeks.
All right. Rodolfo, name and date of birth.
Rodolfo Dorado, June.
So you're here on a new misdemeanor charge. It is criminal damage, class 1 misdemeanor. It is a domestic-related charge. You will get a court-appointed lawyer. You have a hearing coming up in what we call our Goodyear Municipal Court, and the address and telephone number will be on your paperwork. And that hearing will be on September the 25th at 8:30 in the morning. It's a Wednesday. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance. You're promised to appear. However, I am ordering that you not have any contact or physical contact with any alleged victim or witness, that you don't possess weapons, drugs, or alcohol. You do need to obey any order of protection if one does get taken out against you. And do you have any questions for me? All right. Thank you, sir. You can grab your paperwork. Ione? All right, Ione, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so tell me your name and your date of birth.
My name is Ione Elizabeth Pennell, and I'm...
You pronounce it Ione?
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right. Okay, so Ione, you are here on some new charges.
Yes.
Burglary in the 3rd degree, class 4 felony, shoplifting, class 1 misdemeanor, obstruction for refusing to give your name, class 2 misdemeanor. You will have a court-appointed lawyer to defend you. Your hearings are going to take place in downtown Phoenix, Superior Court, South Court Tower. Those hearings start in about 2 weeks on Monday, September 23rd at 8:30, and Wednesday, September 25th at 8:30. Your court-appointed lawyer will be at the South Court Tower waiting for you to check in on those mornings. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance. It is your promise to appear. Just make sure that you make those court dates, otherwise you do pick up a failure to appear warrant. You end up back here with this unfortunate meeting. Don't return to the scene. Don't have any contact with anybody that works at that store. Don't possess weapons or drugs. And do you have questions for me?
I have one, but I don't know if you can answer it. Did you, actually, I don't think you can answer that. Never mind. I'm all good. Thank you.
You're good? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And your paperwork will be right there. All right, I have two.